Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. You're now tuned into the one and only place where you can get what's needed on your plate along with what's going on in your hood. Candy Lady's gonna keep you up to date with events going on round your way. What's really good? SC by Black locally. Keep them dollars circulating in your own community. It's the SCBBL show. You're now tuned into the SCBBL show. Rock on. Rock on.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the SCBBL show. Today, I am here with my fellow Clemson Tiger alumni, prior 5 Links leader, Mr. Bryson Thompson Sr. Hey, Bryson.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
I am doing great. I want to say thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Also, thanks to Tarika Pearson, my girl, another Clemson alumni, for making the connection once again and referring you to be on the show.
Glad to be able to come talk to you, my friend. Glad to talk to you. Go Tiger.
Whoop, whoop. So first of all, talk about that background behind you.
Oh man, this is I'm at the office. Me and my wife own a principal chiropractic office in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Camp Creek Marketplace. So family practice. My wife's the doc. I'm trying to go, here late night, just after some tutoring that we do a pod group. So yeah, man, just at the office.
That's amazing. Black families in medicine. Love it.
Yeah.
So tell people a little bit about Bryson, just a little history about yourself.
So first and foremost, I'm from a place called Little Africa, South Carolina, which is a small country town outside of North Spartanburg. Yeah, absolutely. Real Africa, you know what I'm saying? Grew up, amazing family, mother, stepfather. Real dad was down, not that far. Just a good family atmosphere. Great church family. When I was like in 7th grade, I went to a 4-H camp that kind of changed my life, and it was 2 weeks spent at Clemson University, and that kind of set my path on eventually where I met you at. I wanted to go to Clemson because of 7th grade. When I went there at that camp. It kind of changed my life, and went to Clemson and enjoyed myself. The bros, of course, and then came to Atlanta, taught for almost 10 years, and did mental health for 4 years. And now me and my wife had an office and just published my first book, How Angels Are Made. So yeah, we're doing a little bit of stuff, man. We're trying to make it happen.
Congratulations on all of that.
Appreciate it.
That's amazing. So tell folks about your book. What's your book about?
So I have a book called How Angels Are Made. So the book is a book about the journey of love, grief, and understanding through the eyes of a child. So it's a true story about when my mother passed. So my mother passed about 4 years ago from stomach cancer. And the story kind of outlines the story of like my mother's relationship with my son. And then how me and my wife actually work with our son through that grief and death and helping him understand, explain things like that. So it was the foundation for this book, which actually is an amazing book for kids and families so that you can start talking about grief and death and things like that. So it really bridges the gap. So it's a really, really cool book. Pretty much a must have for all families, especially right now we're going through COVID. And we got so many, people die all the time. And the hardest conversation we have is trying to get the kids to understand what really happened. And most of us are hurt, so we never even talk about it. So this book is pretty much a tool for families to be able to have that tough conversation.
That is amazing. And death period in the Black community is like a topic that is foreign or taboo. It's like, we all know it's going to happen, but we never really talk about it. We don't know the plans for anything. It's just like, I'll let you know where my will is at. And then, when that time comes, but it's not something that we really talk about. Yeah. So make sure that you add the link in the comments after the video's over.
Gotcha. No problem at all.
Yeah, man. So now that you are, you've grown up, you graduated from college, you and your wife have a business. did you have in your mind, what your family would look like, and take us on that journey of, is it what you imagine? Just take us on your journey, your personal journey there.
So I did, man. When I was younger, when I was like in high school, I said I had I knew I wanted the kids, and I knew I wanted a number of kids and family, and then I also knew I wanted a certain type of woman that I wanted to spend my life with. So I met my wife in college. She ran track for Clemson, and she checked out boxes. And sometimes, I like to tell people, when you find somebody like that, you look at, is this somebody you can be with long term? And she checked off all those boxes. So we got married. I let her know early on, like, yo, I'm trying to have like 3-4 kids. So the understanding of my family ambitions, and she's actually like the super supporter of it. So she's the biggest trooper I know, man. She's had 3 of my kids natural birth.
Wow.
No matter. She's awesome. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So now that you have your family and you have your children, let's talk about fatherhood from Bryson's perspective. As we were talking before the show, it's like I was saying that, we always hear the moms, voicing their opinions, and most of the time when we hear about dads, it's about what is not being done versus like, the ones that are fully in the picture. We don't hear as much from you or about you. So this is the whole purpose of the show, and talking about some things like, what are some of the values that you would want to instill in your children based off of your own life experiences?
So, I really try to let my kids grow up, be who they want to be. To address the first thing you said, let me go back real quick. Mm-hmm. I do believe there is a huge misconception about fatherhood. I think that when I think about all the people I know went to college, didn't go to school, all those things like that, period. I don't know many guys who aren't good dads. Like, they may not live in the house with the mother of the child, or they may not have different things, they may have different situations. But I know a lot of great dads, and people don't talk about it, but they just used to go do what they do. They're taking the kids to sports practice. They're there all the time. They do all the different things that people don't even realize. Like, most dads are there a lot of times, and they may not be as traditional as they used to be, but there's a lot of great dads out there, and it's just a shame that it gets such a bad rap. And then, I read a study a little while ago that was just talking about how Black males are the most engaged group of fathers in America, and it's just amazing because, looking at the media and all the still stereotypes from the 60s or 70s, 80s or whatever it was are still prevalent, even though that's not like the real case of what's going on with Black fathers especially.
Yep. They say if you want to hide something, put it in writing, but then the writing is sometimes also a lie.
Yeah, same thing as like the Black men ain't going to college, or they going to jail. It's like, yeah, Black men going to college like far outweigh Black men going to jail now. So when we going to talk about that statistic and stop like perpetuating whatever y'all want to say, it's just like, stop slandering us like that,
Right. So let's talk about those values.
All right, so my values for my guys is really just becoming a good person. So I put that first and foremost. If my kids can be good people, then I think I've done my job, because a lot of the other stuff we're going to instill anyway. Education is it's not even an option. We're gonna instill that. I always am. With my kids, I'm more focused on them learning how to manage the world. I'm very big on entrepreneurship with them right now. So we talk about business. We talk about, like with the office, if I'm going to get checks out the mail, I let them go get the mail. I make them understand that, there's got to be a value for it. My son had a business and he asked me, can I help him with it? It's just like, nah, bro, you can't afford me. But I need them to understand that. Like, I need them to understand, like, you got to be worth something. Wow. So I really tell them, like, you got to be worth something. And, something very lately we've been really heavy on my older son, who's 7. It's just learning to be a producer over being a consumer. Mm-hmm. So, like, let's not just consume the world and take stuff from the world. Let's produce greatness and produce things that are meaningful to other people and are helpful to other people. So those are the major values that I've been really just kind of honed in on lately.
That's powerful though, because I can see in a kid how that would get those wheels turning. Like, dang, my daddy said I can't even afford him. Like, what does that mean? And what do I have to do to, to be able to acquire those services? So like, a lot of times some people feel like you're being too hard on them, but those are the things that makes them into being great people, which is what you want.
Yeah.
I always say I'm gonna get a t-shirt made for my mom who says figure it out, because as a kid, I was always told, every time I asked a question, it was like, figure it out. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's the best solution, because man, trying to determine everything and trying to hold your kid's hand, that's not successful. I mean, you watch it, the people who have that done to them, it just doesn't work. Like, that's a proven way that does not work. Like Harvard and parent and all that stuff like that. It doesn't work. I mean, you can do it all you want to, but at some point they got to fly. Like, if they're not gonna fly, that's on them.
Oh yeah.
Because you don't want to then have an adult who's dependent on you. I don't want no dependent adults. I want them to take care of me. Exactly.
Yeah, you got to instill that go getter in them at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you how is like the family relationship in your view? Like, we all grew up a certain way, but then when you grow up and you have your own life experiences, that's what really forms how your family relationship, the dynamics of the household is. So based off of how you were raised and how your family is now, can you talk about some of those differences and kind of like what helped you to frame that for your household?
I think we have a very traditional household, to be honest with you. Me and my wife work together. We both go to work. We do, all those things like that. She is the doc in the office, so she's the top of the ladder. That's what I always tell people. Like, I'm there. We're equally in this thing, but she's the talent. Like,
Right.
But when you leave when we leave this office setting, I mean, my wife she's an amazing wife. I mean, she's just a regular mom. She goes home, she cooks, clean like everybody else. She go work her behind off and do all this stuff, and then she'll come home. And like right now, she's got 2 of the kids, and she's cooking right now, and she'll be there folding the clothes. Like, she does a wonderful job, and our kids see it. So our kids see both of us kind of like working together, no matter what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? I might be outside cutting the grass, and she'll be inside doing something, and we just tag team everything. I mean, we really literally do tag team, and we talk about everything. Like, one thing in 2020 that we got really big on is we eat every meal at the table, so we can talk in front of the kids.
Yes.
So I mean, we have a very traditional. I probably am more of a disciplinarian. Well, both of us don't really mind the disciplinarian role. I mean, I do it just because I want a good cop, bad cop in the house. I'd rather them love her and be mad at me. They're gonna have to like me anyway, because we do a lot of fun stuff together. But we try to, like, sometimes I'll try to play the role of if I know she's upset, I'll just try to take over. Or either I just let her do what it do, because Mama's gonna play. So she's like mom, and she don't play with the business. So I know that when she's tired of them, she lets them know. So I get great. I let her do her things.
That's what's up, man. So like, when it comes down to the balancing act, I'm sure you hear and you talk to other people in general who probably just feel like they can't get it right or whatever. How do you feel like the balancing is with like work, family, children, and whatever else? How do you feel about balancing?
Man, I mean, I think we do an exceptional job, given how much we're trying to do. We're trying way too much, like way, way, way too much right now.
Yeah.
So I think our balance is okay because we plan everything out. So like, I know how my day is going to go every day. Like the beginning of this year, I planned out my entire days, like how I want it from the beginning to the end.
Can you share that?
Huh?
Can you share that document?
Yeah. I do. Yeah. We went to New York. Me and No Money Steve. We went to New York for a weekend before the beginning of the year, and we planned out a whole year. And then we even plan out like how our days are gonna be structured. So I honestly just execute. Like I don't be doing a lot of. I plan every morning when I wake up. I write everything down that I want to do that day. I do that every single morning. There's not a day that I do not do that. And then I just execute all day. So I'm not like going through the day trying to figure out what I need to do. So it's not really as confusing because I know exactly what I'm gonna do like when I start my day.
That is my goal for 2021. I tried it at the beginning of 2020, but I was not successful. Like it wasn't consistent. I didn't get it consistent, but Yeah, I would love to have a blank template of that plan your day schedule.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a quick thing, right? It's a book called Eat That Frog. Read that book. Eat That Frog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just tells you how to schedule out your day. So like, like either at night or in the morning time when you wake up, write down all the things that you want to do. Then you'll go through and you'll label them like A, B, C, or D. A means you absolutely need to do it. B is if you get done with stuff, you can do it. C is like if you possibly do it, cool. And if it's like a D, you delegate it to somebody else. And then you number them you number them 1, 2, 3, like all your A's 1, 2, 3, and then you just go through the list because if you knock all the stuff out, then it's over. Keep moving.
Bryson, I swear, like divine timing is like amazing. Before we got on this call, I was like, I really have to do better with priority. Yeah. Like that, and I was telling myself that. And so for you to say like ABC, then put those in priority by 1, 2, 3. My mom was watching. She said, write everything down. LOL, I'm way behind.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. If it ain't, and I got a notebook. I got a notebook. Hold on, give me like 1 second.
Yeah, man. I swear, like we all have.
My book bag's in the car. I'm sorry, my book bag's in the car. And I was with one of my girls had theirs over here. But we all keep a notebook, even in my office. And I don't think I'm gonna have it here.
I keep 2 of them.
We keep a little notebook in our office. Everybody has their own notebook, and it's just like our Bible and brain. So like every day you turn it, you do a new page, and you write your stuff down. That way you can know it. And I live by that. Like if it ain't written that thing, I'm not doing it.
Right.
I'm just being honest. Like if somebody asked me to do something, I didn't happen to write it down. Probably not doing it because it's gonna throw me off.
I can totally relate. I do that with my Google Calendar, but I just want to do it better when it comes down to like the execution parts of things that I really need to get done. So yeah, that's really good advice.
Yeah.
So man, like just being who you are, like you've always been a people person, and I'm sure you interact with lots of people now being in the medical field. What are some things that you would tell someone who wants to have a family, who wants to be a great father or whatever? And, you know that just some people they don't see it. So it's hard for them to even do it. What is some advice that you would give like other young men?
Find a good dad. Find somebody you want to model. Like I had a couple. I mean, I had them in my own, but like, as I got older, it was more like I had bros, man, who I looked at, and I was just like, I want to be like that dude when I'm a dad. And I really mimic. Like I'm a mimic guy, so I'll mimic somebody to death. Like if you do something really well, like Candace, if you have a really good solution for a problem, I'm gonna just follow your solution. I'm not gonna try to rewrite it. I'm just gonna do it. So I really watched like amazing dads, and man, it's some guys I've seen who just maneuver dads so easy, and I was just like, I want to be like that because I saw what kind of product they got out of their kids.
Yeah,
they had the kids who I wanted, and it was just like, well, what they're doing is, it's very effective. And the other thing I did, I started reading some books. I mean, if you don't know something, just like read and research it. So I started reading like fatherhood books and like what to expect and stuff like that. So it wasn't, I'm not a great dad. I just try to find out and mimic things that great dads did.
Right. I'm sure your wife and kids might beg to differ.
Yeah.
So another thing I forgot to ask you is education, of course. Like you went to Clemson University, one of the most prestigious schools of South Carolina. When it comes down to raising your kids in education, how do you feel about that and like your level, your standards for that?
So we work hard on education. It's not, they have to learn how to learn, right? So I'm very open to being different with their education. So I have recently, since we've had to do the homeschool thing, I started thinking different. Like I always was saying, I would never put my kid in private school. I would never homeschool my kid. But now I think like I would do whatever that individual kid needed, so that they could be successful and learn. Now I don't care about college whatsoever. Like I'm not playing the game the way I'm playing it so that my kids got to go to college.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if they want, we're going to save money for college. Whichever of them wants to go to college, you need to have a reason you're going to college, and this is what you're trying to execute. And college is the reason you need to. If you are not trying to execute something that requires a college degree, then we don't need to spend time on college right now. We can just invest in business and move a different way. And I need to know that before we just go throw money down the drain just for the sake of throwing money down the drain. So, we're hoping to have our ability to learn and ability to apply knowledge down pat by the time we graduate 12th grade. Because then I don't need college. I mean, if we get it, cool. But if not, I'm not really concerned about it.
Yep. And there's so many programs that's coming up these days that you can just easily get a certificate, and the companies will eat you up just as fast as if you had a college education.
Yeah.
So I'm totally on board with that mind frame and way of thinking. Like the most powerful thing that college teaches you is how to really use your brain in many different ways. It's not even, you realize that after you get out. I don't remember what I learned in statics and dynamics from engineering. It's just like, it's playing with those different motor skills of your brain, of how to like really figure out how to get things done. So I'm totally on board with that.
Yep. That's all it is. It's proving to somebody that you know how to learn.
Exactly.
And acquire information.
Yep. And apply it. Yep.
Yep.
So Bryson, we can end with like, just in general, being a part of the, Omega Sci-Fi and, the things that you have going on, and you guys work with other young people all the time. So just give some words of encouragement to young people in general.
Man, listen, everything that you want to do is there. It's on reach. Resource that you want, any information that you want, and really anything you want to obtain is just really writing it down, having a plan, executing that plan, and then repeating it over and over again. Like, there's no secrets to success. There's nothing. Like, it's just doing something over and over repetitively and getting to some type of skills that will get you where you want to go. And don't try to run nobody else's race. Run your race. Whatever you want to do, you need to go with it, and make sure you have a game plan to win and plan on succeeding. And if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what you want to do at this point, just work. Just work, spend money, figure out how to be a financially, try to become better financially always, and figure it out as you go. Because everybody's not going to have their game plan like immediately.
Right.
But always be working towards something.
Definitely. Powerful, man. Powerful. Mom says every show she's heard so far, we've been talking about vocational schools. Is getting back to like trades and perfecting your personal, individual skills. And then, like you said, if that requires college, then yeah, go for it. But if you can figure it out with just your own human ability, then that's even better. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you also don't have a clue what you're going to do, I think school is awesome. Like, if you don't really know what you want to do, like, school is an amazing thing to go to, because at least you're going to leave there with some type of degree that's going to push you in some type of direction. So I always say that if you absolutely know what you want to do, then it's not required. If you don't really know what you want to do, because in school you can change majors and stuff, figure it out. But if you don't know what you want to do, but if you do, go for it. You can always do that.
Yes. So Bryson, do not forget to put your link for the chiropractic business, your link for your book, in the comments, so that when people see this episode, they'll be sure, like if they're in Atlanta or acquiring that book to put on their shelf, so that they have something to refer back to when it comes down to how to handle grief, because that is a very important subject. Mental health, dealing with grief, dealing with death, all of those things really affect the Black community, and it affects people in different ways too, when they hold all that stuff inside and not really know how to process it. So be sure to share those links after we are done.
Absolutely. And what do I need to share, mate? On the Facebook?
Yeah, right in the comments on this video.
Okay.
Share it there. Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome, man. Well, it has been good catching up with you.
Yes, ma'am. Keep doing your thing down there, man. The things we were talking about earlier, I like that, man. I like what you're doing, man. It's much needed. You know what I mean? And South Carolina has a lot of hidden jewels that people don't even realize like are really better than most other places. And I appreciate you bringing that to the forefront.
Thank you very much. All right, man. It's been lovely. It's your girl Candace signing off for South Carolina by Black Locally, and Mr. Bryson Thompson signing off for Give Your Business.
Is made Touch Life Family Chiropractic.
Awesome. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.
SCBBL show. Rock on. Rock on.